It's the Prince here, and we are going to talk about Drop. Now, Drop is one of the gag choices you get in this game. I'm gonna just state the obvious, but we're going to start talking about training Drop and why I think Drop is easier to train than Trap. Now, I'm going to give you my personal opinion on why I think Drop is better. But this is more of a video on training Drop. But I'll give you that opinion too. Look, I'm not telling you how to play the game, so you play the game how you want to play it. You like Trap better, you like Trap better. I'm not here to change your. I'm not here to tell you what to do. You do what you want. It's your game. Alright. But anyway, let's talk about it. What is Drop? Drop is a game in which you press the button and then I'll walk through the light. Drop. Yeah, that's basically what Drop is. Drop is also special for being very inactive. Very inactive. On its own, it's very inactive, but when you use other games with it, it becomes more inactive. First chance you get to acquire Drop is in Donald Duck, and it becomes one of the game choices to Drop or Learn. It's highly recommended you pick Learn first, because Lure helps you progress through the game a lot easier. Okay, so that's why I highly recommend you pick Lure first, so that way you can get through the game a lot easier and train your other games a lot easier. Drop isn't as important to train. You can train that second to last before you finish tune-up. That's how I think you should do it. Also, if you do not choose it in Donald's Dock, you get one more chance, and that's in the burr. You can choose Drop again. Okay, now the never-ending argument of Trap versus Drop. I'm going to give you a few benefits of both, and then you can decide, and a couple of and one or two negatives. Well, and then you can make an assumption from here. First of all, if you have Drop, you get to use Barnacle Bessie a lot more accurately. What Bessie is, for tunes who don't know, is she's an SOS tune that you get from beating the VP. Okay, now once you use her, she can wipe out a whole row of level 12s if you stun with sound. And before that, you hit 2 Awugas, she'll wipe out 12s. Basically, she drops 4 pianos and everyone. Very good. Also, there's another tune with Drop, Franz Nikovich, I don't know if I say that 100% right. He does 100 damage to all cogs, which is pretty decent. If you stun before that, you can actually take out 11s with her if you do proper stuns. So that can actually be very good if people are running low on sound and they just need to take out a bunch of 11s. So there is use for either or, and those are only accurate with Drop. So you want to use Drop effectively in that. And it's one of the things I press with you with Drop. Okay. All right. Going on to the next part here, we're gonna go into Trap. Well, another advantage of Drop, not Trap. Another advantage of Drop is you don't have to use more with it. It's pretty standard optional what other gags you want to combo with it. You can use sound, you can use throw, you can use squirt, you can even combo with Trap because you won't do as much damage. So you can work with Trap too. Players using lower level Trap, so it works. And on high level guys, yeah, you can combo with higher level or anything. So that works too. One of the downsides is it's organic. Really doesn't do anything. Organic Drop is really bad. And it's a poor accuracy at the start. Really bad with the flower front. But I'll explain how to make it a little bit easier on yourself. Okay? Now we're going to go with the Trap. One of the downsides, I think, is that you have to use Lure. And that is a downside because if you go with other tunes who want to trade sound or drop or whatever, throw, they may not go out of the way to Lure for you, which is kind of a downside. So you need to really go with people who are training Lure. Another thing with training Trap, you only get 2 TNTs, which just makes it a bit harder to get the max out Trap. Not saying that it's super hard, but it makes it a bit harder. And TNT is very, very effective though. You only get 2 of them, and it may do a little bit more damage, but like I said, I don't want to repeat myself over and over. You only get 2. If you're honest, you get 3, and that could come up on occasion. Yeah, and Barnacle Bessie won't hit as well with Trap. That's one of the downsides too. One of the other upsides of trap is that you do have railroad organic that does hit for a row of 12s with lure. But I don't think that's such a big deal, and I'll explain in a little bit. Okay. What game do I prefer? Personally, I prefer drop. Now, I know a lot of people are going to go nuts. Some may not, some may. Okay. But why do I prefer it? Because it's not as difficult to train as people think. You just have to approach it mathematically. Also, you could create a second tune to train your drop. Some people think that you have to train drop alone and find other tunes. No, create a second tune. It does not matter if they're using cupcake or fruit by slice or whatever, squirt or whatever. You are still going to get the same stun bonus no matter what game they use, and that is important. Also, if you train with sound, it's a lot easier because sound does low damage and leaves room for your drop to come in. Very good, very simple, very easy. And like I said, level 5 stories, easiest way. Level 5 invasions, 5 stories. Those are the best way to train drop in. Okay. Drop damage is always one step ahead of its game track. So example, so if you're using level 3 drop, Anvil does 30 damage. Level 3 throw does 17. Level 4, 45 damage. Level 4 throw, 27. Level 5, safe. Level 5 safe, 40 damage. Really important here. It's way ahead of the track that it's at, which means that you can kill the cog even though the other teams may be using weak. Very important, and still getting your drop wall, which is very effective for you if you want to train it. The best way to train it, I've been over this 5-story invasion district, 5-story level 5 invasion districts. You can level 6s work and even level 7s work as well. Okay? Make sure whoever you're going with is using level gas. Level gas is assured that your damage will go off and you will get drop off. Okay? And typically you want to go with about 2 tunes or at least one other tune. Just to make sure that you have room to get it off and also that it's accurate. Follow my equation. It will be a cinch for you. I'm telling you. Now, I'm not going to go heavily into mathematics like I did in my soundless video. I'm going to go into a few, and then you can decide from there. How is it calculated? Well, that's a good question. How is drop calculated? It's initial accuracy minus cog defense plus gag XP plus stun XP. Now, stun XP is for each initial gag hit, it is 20%. Okay, you get a 20% stun bonus. All drops, gags, no matter what, have a 50% initial accuracy. Doesn't matter if you're using Synthetic, doesn't matter if you're using Flower. 50% initial accuracy. Okay? Now on this table, next page, I will show you the table. Now, if you do not have PowerPoint, I'm going to try to create a Word document for you. Actually, not a Word document, sorry, Notepad document. Everyone should have access to that. Unless you have Mac, then I don't know. If you have Mac, you have Office and Mac, you should have access to this. But if you have Windows, no problem. If not, you're just gonna have to listen to me explain some of the key points here. And that's the most important thing is the key points. Not really necessarily everything else, but the key points that I'm going to bring up are going to be the most important things for you in training the drop. Flower pot. Not flower pot. Anvil with one gag used in the track, assuming level 6 guys. This is all of assuming level 6. So if you do a penny picture vision, you get level 6, whatever. Anvil, one of the gag, 65%, which is just 5% less than throw. That's huge. That's really huge. Okay? 1 ton with one other gag, 75%, which is higher than throw. So that means if you take bogus tune, maybe junior with you, whatever your other second tune name is, you will hit that 75% of the time. So it is not that poorly accurate. Safe, 85% with one other cog. And if you use 2, it can't miss. That's a beautiful thing. that your safe will not miss with 2 tunes. It will not miss. That is huge for you. It cannot miss. Your one ton will be 95% with 2 tunes. That would be as accurate as sound is. So I don't know what else you want. That's it hands on the silver platter for you. If you go 1 out of 2, you still get the accuracy of throw. Above the accuracy of throw, actually, with 1 ton on level 6s. That's huge. And that's really going to be good for you. Okay? Almost the accuracy of hypno goggles. So we're going to go on. Piano, again, with 1 other tune, it's 95%. So you're going to almost guarantee to hit that piano, no matter what, as long as you take 1 other tune with you. And it could be a bonus tune. So that's easy for you. Okay? It don't matter if he has 17 left. You can keep him alive. You can learn, then you can stun, then you can drop. Very easy. All right, now closing out this video, we're going to talk about lower versus higher. Okay? Level 5 cogs, so if you do level 5 evasions, you add an extra 5 to 10%. I cannot give you the exact number because that number is actually variable. You could have 85% accuracy with an anvil, as opposed to, 75 with an anvil, as opposed to 65, where you can have 70%. It's kind of an up and down scenario. With 1 ton, you could have 85% or 80. It's variable. And with level 7s, like a Yesman invasion, just minus 5% off the accuracy. You're still having pretty good accuracy. 60 is a little bit shaky with the anvil. I would do that in a lower invasion. But, you're still getting that 1 other tune. You're still going to be decent enough that maybe you can handle a Yesman invasion. It's better if you're doing it in like a bottom feeder or a penny pincher invasion. You'll get 65 is still pretty decent enough that you can almost hit it a good amount of the time. Plus the jump from anvil to 1 ton isn't much, it's 400. You'll get it really, really fast, no matter what you're doing. Again, 5-3 invasion buildings. Use the highest level gigs and the highest floors. Okay? It's really not that bad. And like I said, one thing, coordinate with your team. Do not go in there and just suddenly say I'm training drop. Write down if you're taking a building, training drop. Or that if you have the building already. In the message bubble. So write period, that like in the thought bubble so they can see it. Also, you might need to refresh that bubble because if you wait too long then they won't see it. So you gotta kind of refresh it. If they have a building and you want to come along with them, other tunes, tell them you're training drop, and then most of the time they'll coordinate around you. Unless they want to be a total dick, then they'll just use lure and they'll make sure you can't drop. Drop and lure do not work together. Just letting you know that drop and lure do not work together. Do not drop when somebody lures only because it won't work. You'll just miss them all the time. 100% miss. Okay. So that's my video on training drop. Tune out, if that made any sense. Flipping out.